Hi, I'm Eric Lanask here, TMCnet on the road, and I'm joined this afternoon by Bernard Aboussouan. He's the VP of Marketing at GainSpan. Bernard, thanks for joining me. It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you very much.
So, iPhones, Androids, Windows mobile devices, everybody's got at least one or two, maybe even three mobile devices, and it's really changing the way people are interacting, people are behaving. It also means a lot for GainSpan. Tell me a little bit about how it enables GainSpan to deliver new ways of interacting.
Yes, so GainSpan is all about Wi-Fi connectivity, fundamentally providing connectivity to a lot of the devices. So it's really at the heart of the machine-to-machine or M2M market. It's at the heart of the Internet of Things. So fundamentally what we do is we enable devices or things to connect to the Internet, but we also enable various people to basically control devices or monitor devices using their smartphones, their PC, etc. So it's all about providing Wi-Fi connectivity, and really what we bring in the solution today, we are a chip vendor, we are a module vendors, but we are really a solution vendor in the sense that we want to enable the developers to develop very easily or add Wi-Fi connectivity very easily to their device, and also allow consumers to be able to very easily use their device and monitor or control or send basically information to the network or to the cloud.
So what kinds of devices, what kind of services are you talking about?
So the number of applications are unlimited. And we have all kinds of customers who are developing different devices. And let me give you some examples. So smart home obviously is very important. So we address the smart energy sector in terms of smart plugs, in terms of thermostat, in terms of water heater, air conditioning units. When you look at the security aspect, alarms, door locks, irrigation controllers. So that's all within the home. Then you have the whole health market in terms of glucose monitor, pulse oximeter, heart rate monitor, so all kinds of personal healthcare devices as well. And then we go into automotive, for example, where you have a different device such as measuring the pressure of your tires, a rear view camera, so that you could so it's a retrofit market for rear view camera into cars, where fundamentally your camera is sending information to an iPad or some type of a screen that's sitting in the cabin. And so there are all kinds, and then in industrial application you have all kinds of devices, especially for expensive machinery where you have multiple sensors that are on the device and you want to be able to monitor before it breaks. So the applications are really unlimited.
So certainly you were showing me earlier a little bit about a lighting application that you have. Tell me a little more about that.
Well, it's not really it's not really a lighting application per se. It's really in order to enable the developer to develop an application, what we've developed is what we call an application development kit. And the example I've shown you is really a device where you have a number of sensors that are sending, using Wi-Fi, sending the information onto a smartphone. So you could monitor those various sensors using the smartphone, but also use the smartphone as a way to control that device. And this application development kit is really to bridge a gap between two things. I mean, in terms of shorten the development cycle of the developer, but also bridge the gap between a developer who is familiar with embedded code running on a microcontroller and the developer who are developing application for the cloud or application for a smartphone. Typically, they don't use the same coding language. And what we are doing is we are providing capability that really bridge the gap between those two. So it's very simple for an embedded developer to send information to the cloud and vice versa.
So so you've got a developer who builds out this application, you create the chipsets and the sensors. Who actually generates revenue?
So in fact, there are all obviously a lot of the device manufacturer. I mean, his revenue is selling his devices to consumer, to industrial application. But you have also a different source of revenue. You have obviously the people who are developing cloud application. Could potentially, a company who's developing a device might not have the skills to develop a cloud application, so they might approach a third party that develop basically the cloud application for him, or could develop the smartphone application for him as well. So, all this is part of a big ecosystem. In some cases, the device developer might want to develop the whole thing. In some cases, he might want to rely on outside developer. Or, for example, if you take, for example, a glucose monitor, you want to send the information to a hospital, okay? So the hospital might have its own cloud application, and the device manufacturer is producing this, but it basically enables that connectivity to the cloud, so it connects to the cloud solution that the hospital might be providing.
Now, you mentioned on a couple of times Wi-Fi connectivity. Do you also enable connectivity to 3G or 4G networks?
No, we today the company is focused on Wi-Fi. We believe Wi-Fi is going to be a very key ingredient to this whole M2M. It's really an enabler to that. Obviously, there are multiple competing technologies, but over time, what we've seen is because the familiarity of due to the familiarity of users with Wi-Fi, people love Wi-Fi. I mean, they've been using it. They have it on their smartphones. They have it on their PC. They go to the airport. They connect. So they are getting familiar. They are very familiar with it, and they really love it. And as a result, initially, some of the application might have been using other technology, but we see more and more of those devices moving into using Wi-Fi connectivity as a primary connectivity solution.
Excellent, Bernard. Bernard, thank you so much for joining us here in San Jose, TMCnet on the road. I'm Eric Lanask.
Okay, thank you.